Some research suggests that people are more able and willing to empathize with those most similar to themselves. In particular, empathy increases with similarities in culture and living conditions. Empathy is more likely to occur between individuals whose interaction is more frequent. A measure of how well a person can infer the specific content of another person's thoughts and feelings was developed by William Ickes. In one experiment, researchers gave two groups of men wristbands according to which football team they supported. Each participant received a mild electric shock, then watched another go through the same pain. When the wristbands matched, both brains flared with pain and empathic pain if they supported opposing teams. The observer was found to have little empathy. Psychologist Paul Bloom, author of Against Empathy, points out that this bias can result in tribalism and violent responses in the name of helping people of the same tribe or social group. For example, when empathic bias is exploited by demagogues. He proposes rational compassion as an alternative. One example is using affective altruism to decide on charitable donations rationally, rather than by relying on emotional responses to images in the media. Empathy can also be exploited by sympathetic beggars. Bloom points to the example of street children in India, who can get many donations because they are adorable, but this results in their enslavement by organized crime. Bloom says that though someone might feel better about themselves and find more meaning when they give to the person in front of them, in some cases they would do less harm and in many cases do more good in the world by giving to an effective charity through an impersonal website. Bloom believes improper use of empathy and social intelligence can lead to short-sighted actions and parochialism. He further defies conventional supportive research findings as gremlins from biased standards. Bloom says that although psychopaths have low empathy, the correlation between low empathy and violent behavior as documented in scientific studies is 0. Other measures are much more predictive of violent behavior, such as lack of self-control. People with Asperger syndrome and autism also have low empathy, but are more often the victim of violent attacks than the perpetrators. Bloom points out that parents who have too much short-term empathy might create long-term problems for their children by neglecting discipline, helicopter parenting, or deciding not to get their children vaccinated because of the short-term discomfort. People experiencing too much empathy after a disaster may continue to send donations like canned goods or used clothing even after being asked to stop or send cash instead. And this can make the situation worse by creating the need to dispose of useless donations and taking resources away from helpful activities. Bloom also finds empathy can encourage unethical behavior when it causes people to care more about attractive people than ugly people, or people of one's own race vs. people of a different race. The attractiveness bias can also affect wildlife conservation efforts, increasing the amount of money devoted and laws passed to protect cute and photogenic animals, while taking attention away from species that are more ecologically important.